everyone, myself Vaibhav. In today's session of Visual Jforex, we are going to continue to work with the indicator named Aroon. This is the second part, and in today's setup, we will try to complete the buy side. So let us now go to the Visual Jforex board, which has been developed by the Dukascopy Bank SA. In the prior session, the blocks have been arranged this way, where the instrument subscription has been done this time around. The USD JPY is the instrument of choice for this algorithm. Then the position amount was defined at 0 to make sure that there is no pending or the open position on the account prior to the execution of the trade. Then there is a Aroon blocks to look at the momentum as well as the strength of that momentum. So in this indicator, we get both the direction of the trend as well as the strength of the trend, and we will be doing the comparison between these two values of hourly Aroon indicator with look back period of 1 and 2 respectively. Then this cluster of get historical candles, 4 candles of 1 hour each to look at the price action. To retrieve the individual variables from the array of data, the loop viewer has been used. To look at the last hour's price action, we will be utilizing this historical candle of hourly time frame, and then to pinpoint the exact entry and exit point, these 10-second candles with look back period of 1 and 2 being used respectively, and look at the volatility, and the minimum defined condition is that we need the high and the low of last 4 hours to be more than at least 20 pips. So the difference between the highest and the lowest value for last 4 hours should be more than 20 pips. So for that, this calculation has been done where the difference has been set at 20 pips. So this variable was created and assign the value of 20, and this is the pip size for the default instrument. So we have got this value. Now in today's setup, we will start working where we had left yesterday. For the buy trade to be initiated, we need the Aroon up value to be really up at 100, and at the same time it should have just these hour crossed above the Aroon down, and that way it means that there is substantial fresh buying momentum happening, and these are the initial hours of the trend change, and so resultantly we will have higher probability of the continuation of the trend for at least couple of hours, and that's what we want to capitalize on. So that is the idea behind the execution of the trade using this indicator. Whenever we see the Aroon up going up above the down value and reaching 100, that signifies there is a strength in the trend, and this might be the time to look for the trade in the direction of the trend. So we will be looking for the buy trade, and what we will do, we will also consider the highest and the lowest value, as I said, as we are taking the historical candle cluster, and there the execution price won't be at the market. Instead of that, what we will do, we will take 25% of the difference, the highest value and the lowest value difference, and we will deduct that value from last tick price, and on that price we will be placing order. So it will be a limit order below the market price by around 25% of the difference between the highest and the lowest value of last 4 hours. So that's how we are going to proceed for the execution of the trade. So we go back to the Visual Jforex board. So to design that condition, we will have to take a couple of mathematical blocks of calculation expression. Here it comes. And this time around, we will have to look at the actual high and the low price difference. For that, I will be retrieving the HLC's highest value candle high. Okay, and deduct the candle low. So it will be A1 minus A2 actual high of difference. And now to take the 25% of this actual difference, we will use this and multiply it by 0.25. So new variable will need to be created. Execute difference 0.25, and this will be A1 into A2, and this will be execution price difference. So when we will be placing the buy order, we will deduct this value from the last take price. When we will be placing the sale order, we will add this value. So that way we will be able to pinpoint the exact execution price using this variable. Now we will have to get multiple action. For the time being, we will start adding the buy side blocks, but I think afterwards we will have to come back and add a couple of more calculation and expression blocks for the order validity, as well as if we want to keep the stop loss and target price variable, then also we will need some calculations. But right now we will start building on the buy side. So for that, multiple action, I'll join it here. We will need to disconnect it later on. Just for the representation, I have joined it. Now we want the Aroon up value to be at 100. So this should be equal to 100. And also it should be above Aroon down. But as I see, to do the comparison, we will need to take two more Aroon blocks, as we have to also make sure that this is the trend change. So what we will need to do, current Aroon up should be above Aroon down, but 1 hour back Aroon up was below the Aroon down. So for that we will need two more Aroon blocks, which we missed out adding in yesterday's session. So the momentum And here comes these Aroon blocks. As I had said, we will need to disconnect it, and we did have to connect it now. These need to be changed to hourly. I think even if we let me see what we have here. We have this shift 1 and shift 2. So yes, we can do the comparison using these two blocks itself. So we were right, we don't really need it. So I think I got confused here, and pardon me for that. Now we will back to adding logical block. So here we need Aroon up to be equal to 100. Aroon up for the last hour should be above the Aroon down. So here we use both of these value. Actually, I was used to single output from the indicators, and I kind of omitted the fact that in this indicator we get two output values. So down value and the up value is there in single block. You don't have to use two different indicator blocks really. And up should be equal to 100. Okay. And then one more block, and up should be above, then down. And for last hour, no, the penultimate hour, then up should be below and down. So first input less than second. So here we have defined this conditions with okay. We will leave some space here. Just in case we have to add more calculation blocks. Alright. Now what we have to do is take a couple more blocks and do the comparison regarding the tile action. For that, we will have to compare the actual high low difference to the minimum difference, and it should be above minimum difference. So we need first input greater than second, and we also want last hourly candle close to be above the candle open. That means there was buying momentum in last hour, so its closing value is higher than the opening value. Alright. So here first input again greater than second input. Okay. Now we have to pinpoint the exact entry point. From that, we want the price to be rising above the closing value for last hour. So here we will do the comparison simple using this 10-second candle. This 10-second candle when look equal to look 2 should have closed lower than the candle 18 closing value, and then this candle 19 close should be above the candle 18 close. So for that we will need 2 A blocks. Alright. And then we have to take candle 18 closing value in both of these blocks and compare it with candle 19 and candle 20. Candle 19's candle close should be above first input greater than second input, whereas candle 20's close should be below. Okay, so far so good. These are the 7 conditions which need to be in place for the execution of the buy trade. And now I will bring in the pending open order blocks, and to define its values we will have to add some calculation expression. Here we had defined the difference, which was 25% of the high low difference, and now we will have to actually deduct it from the last ticket price. So first I will get the pending open order, then we will define its buy price. Okay, trading block, and here is the pending open. There is going to be a buy limit order, and the price needs to be defined. For that, I will take one more calculation expression. And here is this. We will take on tick, last tick. You can take tick period or tick ask. Let us take tick period and deduct this 25% of the difference of high low of last 4 hours. So this is going to be A1 minus A2, and this will be our buy execution price E. Okay, so this goes, and we will join the flow for representative purposes. Later again we will have to disconnect it, as we will start adding blocks for the sell side requirements for defining those conditions. So the price has now been calculated. BE, default instrument, trade amount. You can change this anytime, and I would suggest you keep it as per the equity of your account. The page to page should be good enough. Then comes the question of defining stop loss on take profit. What we will do, given the fact that these are the setup which are going to involve historical hourly values, hourly price action, I would say that we will keep the stop loss and take profit dynamic, and for that we will have to take into consideration the actual price action volatility, and for that we will keep this variable which we had derived using this high low difference as our reference point, and we will take certain value, certain proportion of it as a take profit and stop loss. So we will make proportionate uh, stop loss and take profit using this value, but that we will not do right now. We will do it in the later session. Also, we will need to use another calculation expression for defining the order validity. And I think 1 hour or maybe 2 hours should be good enough. So from that also, we will have to create new variables and carry out the calculations to define these variables. Okay. So here I will join the block with a block, and we wanted candle 20 to have closed below candle 18. So first input should be greater than second input. Okay. And for this getting open, we will need to define these three variables, which we will do in next session. So that's it from my side for today's session. I hope you have been able to understand the setup so far, where I have defined these conditions using the blocks of pattern indicator and these historical candles, and of course not to forget the calculation expression blocks. Then these 7 conditions which are necessary for the execution of the trade using these if else blocks. Thank you all for joining in. See you next time. Till then, goodbye.